Good morning, dear Sangha. Lớn hơn chút nữa. Good morning, dear Sangha. Do you hear well? Good morning, dear Sangha. Today is the 29th of June, 2014, and we are in the Assembly of Stars Meditation Hall, Lower Hamlet, Plum. The summer opening will be there soon, on the 4th of July, right? 4th of July, this is an American holiday. And on the 2nd of July, there will be ordination of novices in the Upper Hamlet. So we are invited to come for the ordination ceremony. When we practice breathing in mindfully, we may focus our attention on the tip of the nose. That's where the air comes in. And especially when we are not very awake, a little bit sleepy, and then to focus our attention here may help. And when we are a little bit too excited, and then our teachers advise that we focus our attention on the navel and observe the rise and fall of our abdomen. So this is when you are a little bit too excited. But this is for you when you are a little bit sleepy. Whether you are sitting or lying down, where you might focus your attention on the tip of the nose, observing the coming in and going out of the air, and stop entirely the thinking. Just enjoy observing the air coming in and the air coming out. And when you observe, when you focus your attention on your abdomen, and then you can enjoy observing the rising and falling of your abdomen. Also, we stop the thinking. We just enjoy breathing in and out. We are fully aware that you are there, that the air is coming in and going out, that life is there, and we feel it. We feel that we are alive. We feel that the wonders of life are available inside and around, and the feelings are not there, are there, but there's no thinking. No thinking is a secret for success, because the thinking will take you out of the here and the now. And most of the thinking are like that. They take you out of the here and the now. But the feeling still are there, and the feelings may help keep you in the here and the now. You feel that you have a body, which is a wonder. You feel that you are alive. I feel that I am alive. That's not thinking. feeling. You feel your aliveness. You feel the presence of your body. You feel the presence of the refreshing and healing elements of nature. And the feeling help us to stay in the here and the now and enjoy being alive, enjoy being healed and nourished by Mother Earth, by nature. And when you walk, you may pay attention to the contact between your feet and the ground. The object of your mindfulness is the contact between your foot and the ground. Also, stopping the feeling, the thinking. You feel the ground beneath your feet. It's a very nice feeling. Mother Earth is there, alive, ready for you. And you are a child of Mother Earth. You are alive also. So that kind of getting in touch can bring you happiness. You are aware that you are alive and you are walking on the most beautiful planet of the solar system. That's good enough for you to be happy. And you touch reality and not a dream. There is a king in the 13th century in Vietnam. He is the first king of the Tang dynasty. And he is a Buddhist practitioner. He had wanted to be a monk, but he could not because he was a king. So they didn't allow him to become a monk. So he had to practice as a lay person. But he practiced very well. He wrote for himself a manual for the practice of beginning anew, and he practiced 6 times a day. Every session lasts about 15 minutes, but 6 times a day. As a king, you have to be a politician, a ruler, and yet you have the time to practice every day. As a young king, he had to learn Confucianism, history, things like that, to be a good ruler. And he had to learn also Buddhism. And he invited many teachers to come to his temple in the imperial city temple and teach him. Bộ bộ đạp trước thực địa. He said that every step, with every step, I touch the ground of reality. Not a dream, because many of us walk like a dream walker. And his practice is to touch the ground of reality with every step. Bộ bộ. Đạp trước thực địa. And this is the ground, địa, the land, the ground. This is thực, reality, thực địa. Đạp trước means touch Dap means to touch with your foot, and Turk means to touch, to be in touch. Bò bò, step, bò bò đạp đất thân địa. With every step, I touch the ground of reality, and that was how he nourished himself, and had the time to be a king. Because as a king you have to solve many problems every day, and you need to be nourished by a spiritual practice in order for you to be strong enough not to lose yourself. Many of us lose ourselves in our daily life. Even we are not a king, but we allow ourselves to be carried away by events of daily life. We do not live our life. We allow ourselves to be carried away by events. And if we get in a depression, it is because we cannot be ourselves. We are victims. We are a victim of the events of life. We have no control of ourselves because we do not have a mindfulness, concentration and insight. We do not know how to live deeply every moment of our daily life. Life is a gift. We have 24 hours a day, a big gift. But we don't know how to live each moment deeply because we are not ourselves. We are carried away by events of life. We are a victim. So walking meditation is a way to reclaim your liberty, to be yourself. With every step, you become yourself again. You touch the realm of reality, and you can live each moment of your life more deeply. You don't have to think. You need only to feel that you are alive. You are yourself. You are in control. You are not a victim. So walking meditation is a very good way to learn how to live deeply your life. And you have plenty of chance every day to walk. And the easiest way is to be aware of the contact between your foot and the ground. That awareness allows you to get in touch with Mother Earth, source of life, Father, Son, source of life, and to get in touch with ourselves, and to enjoy the fact that we are alive. That life is a wonder, that we should not waste our life. It's easy enough for you to be aware of the contact between your foot and the ground. Just touching the earth, touching the ground of reality, and be alive. No thinking. And that's very healing. If you have a depression, this practice of walking, mindful walking, will help you. Even if you need to take medication, But if you know how to practice mindful walking, mindful breathing, you don't risk to have relapse anymore. Because the practice of the three trainings is to prevent relapse. The triple training, tam học. This training, practicing, not accumulating information. Consists of mindfulness, smriti, concentration, and right view, tuệ. Right view or insight. And we have learned during our 21-day retreat that these three kinds of energies, they are together. If you are very mindful, and then you have concentration and insight in your mindfulness. And if you are concentrated, you are also mindful, and you also have insight. These three kinds of energies, they interpenetrate, they nourish each other. And these three trainings, tam học, are sometimes described as a kind of practice that can prevent you to fall down, to have a relapse, retreat, tam vô lậu học. This is vô lậu. It means no more leaking, no more leaking, no more relapse. If you keep practicing mindfulness, concentration and insight, you can protect yourself and do not allow it to fall down again. And we know that mindfulness, concentration and insight are three of the 8 elements of the Noble Path. Noble Path. The Noble Eightfold Path. You have mindfulness, concentration, and insight. And in the teaching of the 5 powers, we have a film about 5 powers. And in the 5 powers, you have also mindfulness, concentration, and insight. First is faith, confidence. And diligence. And then mindfulness, concentration, and insight. So this is the triple training. They can be found in the Noble Eightfold Path and in the 5 powers, ngũ lực, ngũ căn, ngũ lực. And the practice of Buddhist meditation consists in generating mindfulness, concentration, and insight. And that is the heart of Buddhist practice. Anything you do can generate mindfulness, concentration, and insight. They help you to live deeply every moment of life given you to live, and with joy and happiness also. And they help you to handle the pain, the suffering in you, and help handle the pain, the suffering in other people around you. And if you can generate the energy of mindfulness, concentration, and insight, you are a good practitioner. And you can help many people. But the 3 trainings, sometimes in the Buddhist literature, is described not niệm định tuệ, but giới định tuệ. Giới định tuệ. Giới means the precepts. Giới định tuệ, the 3 training, or niệm định tuệ. So the question is, what is the right thing? Giới định tuệ or niệm định tuệ? Sheila? Sheila, somebody? Prajna. So in the Buddhist literature, you find either Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna, or Shila, Samadhi, and Prajna. And in Plum village, we have discovered that Shila is Smriti. Shila is Smriti. The practice of mindfulness is also the practice of the precepts. The practice of mindfulness can be seen, can be seen concrete in the practice of the precepts. And that is why in Plum village we do not use much the word precepts, we use the word mindfulness training. Mindfulness training is precept. And that is the practice of mindfulness. The practice of the precepts is the practice of mindfulness. The practice of the precepts are the basic practice. As a lay practitioner, you practice the 5 precepts, or you practice the Bodhisattva precept, you practice the 14 precepts. As a monastic, you practice the 10 novice precepts, or the Pratimoksha, 250 for the monks, and 380 for the nuns. And you may ask why the nuns have to practice more. precepts, then the monk is not there a discrimination? The answer is that no, because it was the nuns who have invented more precepts for themselves. It's not, these precepts are not imposed by the Buddha, because the Bhikshuni Sangha, they have found that they need more precepts. And what we should learn is that each precept guarantees a zone of freedom. It's not that the precepts limit our freedom, but it is the opposite. It is the practice of the precepts that can guarantee our freedom. For instance, if you are addicted to alcohol, you lose your freedom. You are addicted to drugs, you lose your freedom. You are a slave of it. And there are those who do not have alcohol and drugs. They suffer, and they have to go and steal money. And not only they violate one precept, but they will violate two precepts. And sometimes they have to kill. When you are drunk, you violate the fifth precept, not to drink alcohol. And when you are drunk, you might commit sexual violence. You may have sexual misbehavior. That is why you break another precept. Or if you are addicted to drugs, you already violate one precept. And if you do not have time to buy drugs, you go and steal. You violate another precept and you get into prison. So the precepts are there to guarantee our freedom. And each precept guarantees one specific zone of freedom. If you have 5 precepts, you have 5 zones of freedom. If you have 4 only, you have only 4 zones of freedom. And if you don't practice any precept, you don't have freedom at all. And that is why those of us who seek precepts, who are asking for the transmission of precepts, we are asking for freedom. Whether it is the 5 mindfulness trainings or the 10 mindfulness trainings of a novice. They are seeking freedom. Because Shila, the precepts, the mindfulness trainings, they guarantee our freedom if we practice them properly. To lose your freedom means you lose yourself. And in order not to lose your freedom, you have to live mindfully. That means also to practice the mindfulness training, the precepts. Yesterday, Thay wrote a new sentence in calligraphy. Each precept guarantee a zone of freedom. And we know that freedom is a very basic for happiness. If we lose our freedom, we cannot be a happy person. So practicing the precepts is to maintain our freedom. With that kind of understanding, with that kind of insight, practicing the precepts become a joy. You know why you practice the precepts, because you want to be free. And that's why there is a joy in practicing the precepts, in reciting the precepts, in sharing your practice with other people about the precepts. The manual used in Plum Village for training the novices has the title Stepping into Freedom. Because you want freedom, that is why you want to be ordained. Because 10 precepts, each precept guarantees a zone of freedom. And when you become a novice, you are free from many things. A young person in the world, he or she might be caught in many things. But once you have embraced the practice of 10 precepts, you become a free young person. And that insight is very important for you to have, because if you have that insight, practicing the precepts become a joy, not something you have to do. And when you come and recite the precept together, you know that your precept body is intact, and that brings you a lot of happiness. There is a body called a precept body, giới thân, Sila Kaya. Sirakaya. Giới thân nguyên vẹn means your present body is intact. It's like a young man, a young woman, when looking in the mirror, they saw the face. There's nothing, so they know that they are clean. So when we recite the precepts, we know that our Sila Kaya, our precept body is intact, is pure, is beautiful, and that brings joy. That is why after you have received the 5 precepts, or 10 precepts, 14 precepts, you have to recite them every fortnight, and you participate in the discussion and sharing how people practice the precepts, so that your practice of precepts go be deeper every day, and it will bring you more and more freedom, more and more happiness. And what we learn here is mindfulness. The practice of mindfulness is also the practice of the precepts. Because the practice of the precepts is a very concrete way of practicing mindfulness. And the precepts, giới, goes always with the practice of mindful manners. Mindful manners. And with mindful manners, not only your mind, your life is more mindful, but you look more beautiful as a person. Be beautiful, practice the precepts. The way you walk, the way you sit down, the way you smile, the way you look, the way you react is beautiful because you practice the mindful manners. Every act of yours is mindful. That is why the Buddha is so beautiful, not because he used cosmetics, but the way he walks, he sits, he speaks, is very mindful. And all of us can do the same. One of the 10 novice precepts is that you should not use cosmetics, jewelries, and things like that, because you know a better way to be more beautiful, a better way to be beautiful. Now, there must be good writers, excellent writers in this Sangha, write a book, The Better Way to Be Beautiful, not to buy cosmetics. The mindful manners not only make you beautiful, but help you to practice the precepts, because they have also the preventive effect. It's like when you drive a car in the city. When there is a red light, you stop. Even if no car is passing by, and if you continue to drive, there will be no accident. But it's better not to continue when you see the red light. So the red light is a kind of mindful, a kind of practice of mindful manners, the practice of the preventive practice, the practice that can prevent accident. So for a monk and nun, when they go out, one of the mindful manners is that that person is accompanied by a second body. You go to the post office, there may be no danger at all if you go alone. But it's much safer if you have a second body walking with you. And the two nuns walking mindfully together, supporting each other. And we do not lose our time by doing so. You are a second body. You do not lose your time, because being a second body, you are helping your brother or your sister to to be more solid in their practice. So there are many mindful manners like that have the power to prevent the negative thing to happen. And that is why we advise that when you go to the internet, you have a second body, because in the internet you only get in touch with the positive things. You practice only appropriate attention. Như lý tác ý. So the manual for the novice has 4 parts. Traditionally, it has 4 parts. The first part is a set of verses. It's called the essential of the daily Vinaya practice. The essential of the daily Vinaya practice, tỳ ni, nhật dụng, thiết yếu. Tỳ ni is Vinaya, nhật dụng, daily. Thiết yếu, the essential. The essential of daily Vinaya consisting of verses that you memorize. When you brush your teeth, there is a verse for you to practice. Breathe while breathing your teeth. When put on your robe, there is another verse. When going to the toilet, you have a verse. When taking the water to wash your face, there is a verse. The practice is that every act of your daily life is accompanied by the practice of Vigatha, so that you are mindful all day long. And in Thay's time, all these verses are in classical Chinese. And now we have them in French, in English, in Vietnamese, and so on. And in the Plum chanting book, you can find a few dozens of them for you to practice as lay practitioners. When you light up a candle, there is a poem for you to breathe in and out while doing so. So by doing so, you are very mindful. And if everything you do, the way you move around is mindful, you look beautiful as a practitioner. So that is the first part of the manual for novices stepping into freedom. To be memorized, remember. When you remember by heart, it's very easy to practice. It's like the verse on the bell, on the sound of the bell. And the second part is the 10 precepts. The 10 novice precepts. I think if even if you are not a monastic, it's interesting to learn about the 10 precepts. Among the 10 precepts, there is a precept on living simply. The way you dress, the way you eat, your bed, your transportation means, everything should be simple. And that makes the beauty of a monastic. Simplicity, humility. The third section of the book is mindful manners. Many dozens of chapters on how to practice mindful manners. That is also the practice of mindfulness. There is a chapter as how to be an attendant to your teacher. You have to learn. There is a chapter how to light up the heating system, the heating wood stove, and so on. So you have to learn all these mindful manners. Not only they make you beautiful, but also they can prevent you from breaking the precepts. And the fourth part is a text called Thich Nhat by Master Krishan, teaching you how to be diligent as a monk or as a nun. The text is so beautiful. And every fortnight as a novice, you should read it again so that you remember that you are a monk or a nun, that you have something to achieve. And this book is originally in Chinese. It was written more than 400 years ago by a teacher, Thay, cloud leather. And in Plum Village we have actualized it. We have created more verses. We have improved the version of the 10 precepts. We have added many mindful manners, but we keep the fourth intact. We just translate it beautifully. Tiếng Anh gọi là gì đó? Encouraging word. Of Master Krishan. there is a new version which is about to be published in Vietnamese. And we have to review the book again and again so that it can be adaptable to the new situation. And we have tried to translate it back into Chinese for the sake of new novices. Because when they visited China in 2004, they noticed that the novice in China still use the text of 400 years ago. That's too old. In the Christian tradition, as a monastic, you have to observe 3 things. First of all, chastity. It is one of the 10 precepts. Second is poverty. This is very much the same in the mindfulness. And third is obedience. You have to obey your elders, especially when you are newly ordained. If you are ordained as a very young person, there may be no problem. But if you are ordained as an adult, having already a lot of experience in the world, and you may be proud that you have a lot of knowledge, experiences, and you may not listen to your elders, who are sometimes very young. They may be at the age of your younger brother and sister, maybe your daughter or your son, but they are your elders because they have ordained much earlier. And that is why those of us who enter the order not as a very young person has to practice obedience. These people may have a lot of skill and talents and experiences. And there is a tendency to make good use of these talents and experience to serve the Sangha. But that is not good for new practitioners. And we have learned that for those who are ordained, who have a lot of talent and experiences, in the beginning, the first or the second year, they should do simple things like gardening, cooking, washing, and do not play the role of an administrator, so on. That is for their sake, their own sake. And we have learned that the brothers in the upper Hamlet and the sisters in the lower Hamlet and new Hamlet also. So if you are ordained as an experienced person with many talents, and you should know that people still appreciate your talent, your experiences, but they don't want to make use of them too soon. So you get the joy of doing simple things, and especially you remember that you are a young brother, a young sister. Too many big brothers and big sisters who can be very young, very, very young. In the upper Hamlet, we had Brother Fabde, who had been a Catholic Catholic priest and always called father. But when he ordained as a novice, he gave him the name Pháp Đề, means younger brother in the Dharma. Pháp Đề means younger brother. So he remembered that although he is a very experienced theologian and priest, but he has to remember that he is a younger brother of everyone. And he was doing very well. And a name can be very helpful. It reminds you that you have to practice humility, that you have to respect your elders, even if your elders are at the age of your son or your daughter. And after 3-4 years, and then you have learned that humility, and you are safe. So those who be ordained as novice on the second are invited to have lunch with Thay today. And Thay will tell them some of the things they need before they ordain. We ordain not only for our own sake. We ordain because we want to do something with our life. Right? For more lunch. There is a formal lunch today. Maybe in the afternoon. Maybe in the afternoon for tea. 3 o'clock in Thay's room here. There will be around 30 of them, 10 in Plum and 20 in our center in Thailand. And there will be online ordination. 20 brothers and sisters in Thailand. We ordain with the awareness that we do that for our family, for our lineage, for our people, for our society. Because I want to do something with my life, to serve people. That is why I ordain. Not because I want to get away from something. I want to run away from something. This is a big engagement. Engagement in English is a commitment. This is a big commitment. This is like to get married. You have to make a commitment to live with another person for all your life. In the past, to marry means to make a commitment to live with that person the whole life. No thinking of divorce or interrupting relationship. So to ordain means to make a deep commitment to practice the precepts, to learn how to handle our suffering, how to create happiness, to nourish ourselves, to heal ourselves, in order to help other people. And in order to help other people, you must be with your Sangha. You ordain not to become an individual monk or nun, or an individual. When you are ordained as a member of the order of interbeing, you also make the commitment to build a Sangha. And without a Sangha, you can realize your dream of helping people. So with that awareness that you ordain, I will not operate as an individual anymore after I ordain. I take refuge in my Sangha. I am aware that without a Sangha, I cannot realize my dream of helping people, transforming people. And that is why the practice of building brotherhood and sisterhood is basic in the life of a practitioner. Whether you are monastic or lay people, lay practitioners, you have to build a Sangha. Because without a Sangha, you cannot maintain your practice for a long time. Without a Sangha, you cannot help as many people as you wish. So the same thing is true with a monastic. A monastic is ordained in order to live and to serve with the Sangha and not as an individual talent. And that is why the daily practice include building brotherhood and sisterhood. And the Buddha was aware of that. Even if you are a Buddha, you cannot do much if you do not have a Sangha. Therefore, the Buddha put a lot of time and energy in building a Sangha. As you are about to ordain, you should know that you get married to a Sangha and you will live with Sangha for whole your life. And the Sangha will help you realize your dream of helping people. To practice as a monk and nun is easier than to practice as a lay person. That's very clear. It's not the opposite. The easiest way to practice is to be a monastic, because you are supported by many members, and you devote all your time to the practice of building brotherhood, sisterhood, and serving people. But in the world, you have to earn a living. You have to get many kind of relationship, and it's much more difficult. So don't think that practicing as a monk is more difficult. It is easiest way. Because as a monk, you can live a simple life, very simple life. You don't need to have a bank account, private bank account. You don't need to have a private home. You don't have to pay your individual bill, electricity bill, telephone bill, and you consume much less than if you have to be a householder. This is an invitation. We have a very beautiful lotus pond in the low Hamlet. So after that we will go and contemplate the lotus flowers. This is a happy, beautiful moment. And we should strengthen our practice of walking and breathing in order to be ready to help the people who will come with us for the summer opening. D'accord? You agree? We have to strengthen our practice, especially the walking and the breathing. Breathe well, walk well. Get a lot of pleasure out of walking and breathing.